In these 7 months, how has he worked hard to cut wastage? I just told you about 40 billion naira is going to go into consumption that will add no productivity to Nigeria. I just told you a man who said he wants to revamp the economy, revitalize the industrial sector, and yet you're buying 469 imported SUVs when you have products that are assembled in Nigeria that you could have bought to improve the productive capacity of these firms. So what else is he going to do differently? He has borrowed about 15.8 billion naira, $billion. When is he going to pay all this? He's spending 98% of the revenue servicing debts, and he's borrowing more. What else are you expecting? Let me tell you, people are going to be hungry for the next 4 years. Forget it. Because Naira will not appreciate. The only secret in appreciating Naira is what? There is no magic.
The Labour Party is going to be the lead opposition. Why do you think he had to say that? Is it because of the posturing of the PDP as is? Because when we talk about lead minority, lead opposition, it should be by number. But perhaps he's not seeing the number. Does it give credence to the people who feel the same way that, look, the lead minority party or the opposition party, quote unquote, is inactive? So it gives credence to his posture.
Yes, he has every reason to say what he's saying, right? At the time, we can interrogate whether Labour Party at this stage is actually a political party or not. I mean, in the real sense of what a political party should do. But the reason he is saying what he's saying is because PDP is sleeping as a political party. But PDP members in their individual capacities have been engaging, interrogating government, playing the role of opposition as individual members of the party. But as a party, PDP has been quiet. And the reason is not far-fetched, because some of the leaders who are misbehaving appear to have certain degree of control on infrastructure of the party. So that's why you find it difficult. I feel ashamed sometimes when I come in on media and journalists continue to say, what is it about A, B, and C in your party that your party can't do something? And you don't have answer, because you are an ordinary member. Whatever I say, I'm an ordinary member. I'm not a leader. I'm not in the National Working Committee. But as a private citizen, when we say we are going to call out things, it can't be just calling out the governing party. You call out your own party if they are doing the wrong thing. And that is why this 2024, PDP had better make up his mind to be an opposition party, or Labour Party now will be the opposition party. And the reason why Peter Obi is saying that is because if you have seen the last few weeks, he is singularly has been the person who has been interrogated on issues now. But at a better time, we'll talk whether Labour Party as a party can challenge. You can talk as an opposition, but do you have the infrastructure of opposition? That is what Peter Obi lacks. He doesn't have the patience to grow a party. He will never sit down and grow a party. That's the truth.
My country people, the gbas don't begin again. No, for this new year we don't enter, so the battle don't continue again. Whether we like him or not, the fact remains say Peter Obi na the people's choice. But one thing I want to for this video, na be say, no matter what the PDP try, their own time don't come, it don't pass. They get their chances, they not use them well. They come pay me so for the end of the video. Wait, Daniel Bauer talk say. I think we go come back again for 2027. I don't understand. Anyway, before I bring you the full video, the President TinUbU don't suspend Alima Shehu onto the matter of say they embezzle money, they chop billions of naira, they chop them. So now I can't last make a step down. My country people, say this come out and put government. We don't start them again for 2024. We be this say it don't end before, but they tell us say they just start. So many people do what they want script. Kenneth Okpokwoto can say TinUbU not get anything to deliver. He not get anything. Say it's 7-point agenda. He not fit do anything. Say not get anything to do. My country people, I will give enough the full video. Mona watch. So now be Bod TV. But we will analyze all the trends that they happen. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Mona do well.
In what ways are the Labour Party going to be challenging the status quo and keeping their feet on the necks of the APC and the ruling party in order to make sure that there's some kind of balance within this political ecosystem we currently function?
Oh, well, basically, taking you back to the times of the campaign, you would remember that Peter Obi was the person that crafted the 7-point agenda that all these other parties are copying from, albeit doing a terrible job out of it. You remember he was the one who came out as a candidate and defended his 7-point agenda, which included securing and uniting Nigeria, as you know, production-centered growth for self-sufficiency and export. And as you know, he talked about effective and efficient legal and institutional reform to ensure, 1, cutting out wastage in government, 2, reducing cost of governance, preventing corruption, and importantly, building an honest and efficient civil service. He talked about leapfrogging Nigeria out of oil dependency to the 4th industrial revolution, and human capital development and expanding physical infrastructure and robust foreign policy. If you check all these people now, the presidential candidates, you discover that they were simply copying from him without learning the routes that he wanted to achieve these things. Now, apart from his knowing exactly what he wanted, he had the commensurate competence, capacity, and character to drive it, which is lacking in all these people. And Nigerians bought into that particular agenda of his. That's why he's the only person that scored 25% in all the 6 geopolitical zones, including the Federal Capital Territory. None of the candidates won more states than he did, even by the allocated results by INEC. So you discover that's why he is saying, I know Nigerians, I know what Nigerians want. We now are the effective opposition party. And look at the New Year message by the president, seated now in Aso Rock. He said Nigerians are expecting him to revamp the economy, to revitalize the industrial sector, to restore security, and to boost agricultural products. Now, this is exactly offshoots of the 7-point agenda, telling you that Nigerians had bought into the agenda of Peter Obi. That is what they wanted. That is what any government that wants Nigeria to accept it should implement. That is what they are failing to do. So he is actually the shadow president. If you talk about the parliamentary system, that's how they describe effective opposition leaders. He has earned it because he knew what he wanted to do. Nigerians have bought into it. And he and Labour Party, coming 3 months before the election, they still won better in a more spread form the votes of Nigerians. So he has earned that accolade of being the effective opposition leader. And I can tell you that he will do it effectively well, pending when Nigerians will realize the dream of a new Nigeria through him.
Now, some analysts believe it's a bit too early, to talk about the Labour Party being the main opposition party, considering how long the PDP has been in existence, its nationwide reach, and the fact that it was once a ruling party. So is it really the Labour Party that is the main opposition party now, or is it Peter Obi that is the main opposition figure at the moment?
Well, in all honesty, PDP is not in existence in the political realm of Nigeria, because let's take an example of what is happening in PDP. A presidential aspirant of PDP, who is the first runner-up during the primary election of PDP, and who vowed that he will never leave PDP no matter what, is now a minister in APC, telling you that PDP has totally been usurped by APC. There are 3 things that rule politics: the head, the heart, and the stomach. The head provides the logic, the heart, the sentiment. The stomach is for whatever goes, anything goes. So when a party has reduced itself to the party of stomach infrastructure, which some of their governors actually publicly said is their policy, then you know that that party can never and would never be an effective opposition party. Peter Obi has made it clear. He's not desperate about being Nigerian president. He's desperate about bringing a new Nigeria. And that is why he's effective, both as opposition and as a ruling person. When he was in Anambra State, he was very effective, turned a dead economy to a living economy till date. If he becomes the president, that's what he would have done. You cannot be an effective opposition leader if you do not have what it takes to be an effective president if you were given a chance. So PDP, being a party of stomach, a party of whatever goes, is no longer existing in the political realm and minds of Nigerians. I keep saying it. Obi is not the alternative option. Obi is the only option. Now, he is of Labour Party. In Nigeria, independence candidacy is not allowed. You have to operate within the sphere of a political party. And his political party now is Labour Party. There is no need denying the fact that the entrance of Obi energized and reinvigorated Labour Party. Labour Party has been existing. It has produced a governor and produced some members of the National Assembly and State Assembly even before now. Remember, it is the party of NLC and TUC. So it's been existing. But entrance of Peter Obi gave it that national outlook and made it a party that Nigerians can trust. So if you would allow me, I would want you to concede to the fact that the only effective opposition today is both Obi and Labour Party. Well, and that is why we are keeping the ruling party on their feet.
Well, I'm glad you touched on that because I wanted to bring that up. Peter Obi being the proverbial rock star of the political sphere, especially during the electoral season and amongst the youth. We saw him skyrocket and, of course, pull up the Labour Party from virtual obscurity. Now the elections are over. The dust has settled. We're looking for an opposition. But Peter Obi still is the only shining jewel in the crown of the Labour Party. He can't do it all on his own, as has been shown from the election circuit and how it all played out. So what are other members of the Labour Party going to do in order to help shoulder some of this burden from Peter Obi, who is the major flag bearer of the party? I mean, you're yourself excluded as you're doing your own work in your own corner here to promote the good work of the Labour Party. But who are the other key leaders in the Labour Party who can share some of this spotlight and burden and continue to keep the APC and I guess the PDP on their toes?
Yes, being honest, remember, Peter Obi is the head. And whatever the head consistently continues to do, other people will gradually follow up. Remember, and as you have noted rightly, when we started this new Nigeria and the chase for it, everybody came into Labour Party and we were just knowing each other. And old habits, even from the people that carried some baggages from the other parties, there will still be some droplets and remnants. And as they continue to see Obi lead by example, they will certainly follow. If we can get the president and the presidency correct in this country, every other thing will follow. If we do not get the presidency and the president correct, nothing will work. Because by the Constitution, the executive powers of the Federation are vested in the president. One person. And the Constitution is so elaborate on the powers of the president. We have one armed forces. We have one police force. And he is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Look at the terrible thing the current administration is doing in terms of security. More than 200 persons, for instance, died in Plateau State for a disease, for a problem that is foreseeable and has been there existing. Let me tell you, tackling the security situation of Nigeria is very easy because it has criminal dimension, ethnic dimension, religious dimension, and political dimension. Whoever wants to solve the security problem of Nigeria must be blind to ethnicity, to religion, and to politics. It is only when you're blind, like that blind woman of justice, blinded and carrying the sword, that you can effectively cut off the heads of all these people that are trying to destroy Nigeria. It is political because some of these people actually sponsor political parties and sponsor candidates in order that when they start perpetrating their insecurity on Nigeria, that such political people will look the other way. It is ethnic and religious in the sense that when those people come, they wouldn't want to invade the places that share the same ethnicity and religion with them so that they won't be blackmailed. But the foundation of the insecurity is purely criminal. It is the quest for resources. It is the quest for land. People from the desert area, naturally, when they are lacking because of the non-fertility of their soil, they start moving south and they want to, whether by good means or bad means, they want to take over the fertile land or be accommodated. And when they want to get it through peaceful means, and people do not want to let out the ancestral land, they will use other means, including force, to take over the land and resources. So the foundation of insecurity, whether you call it settler, indigene clash, or herders, farmers clash, is economic. It is criminal. Criminal acquisition of resources and of land. So if you are going to be able to tackle it as a leader, then you must be blind to politics, blind to religion, blind to ethnicity, because these things combine in making sure the insecurity is intractable. These governments don't have it. You can see they cannot even commiserate. They have not even commiserated going to Plateau to empathize with them. And I'm talking about the president. Does he even have the strength? Obi has been there. Obi has been in Tundu, Biri. Obi has been everywhere empathizing because he's a man of compassion with Nigerians. So this is the man who is providing the opposition, solving Nigeria's economic problem. Very easy. He has told you must shift emphasis from consumption to production. What is this government doing? They are simply consuming. I'll give you an example. Look at the budget. 10 trillion naira for capital expenditure. Yet 17 trillion naira for recurrent expenditure, including 8.2 trillion naira for servicing debts. Since this government came in, it has borrowed close to $15.8 billion in 7 months. Meanwhile, you have removed oil subsidy completely. What are you borrowing for? You said you want to remove oil subsidy so you can have more money to give us these amenities. Yet you have borrowed all this money. Let me tell you what they're doing with it. 5 billion naira to give the first lady to eat. Nothing else. Because she doesn't have any constitutional duty or function. Then 20 billion naira to give chief of staff. They said to renovate his house. 15 billion naira to renovate the VP's house. This will cost Nigeria about 110 million naira every day for the next 1 year. Meanwhile, you cannot give the workers who are productive up to $1 a day as wage award. He said he was going to give the workers 35,000 naira a month as wage award. Not even wage increase, meaning less than $1 a day.
Mr. Kenneth
Okonkwo, $1 is now 1,200 a day. So this is a government that doesn't have empathy, that does not invest in productive means. They are still consuming the money. Oil price is not going to come down soon.
Mr. Okonkwo, please allow me to interrupt you. Allow me to interrupt you for the sake of time. You've said quite a lot of things, But look at the three prominent political parties in Nigeria now, and I'm talking about the APC, the PDP, the Labour Party. It shows a recycling of the same old crop of politicians. with a sprinkle of a few hands, and it's quite clear that Nigerian politicians have no issues, with cross-carpeting at the drop of a hat. Now, this gives the impression that the parties and even the members, they lack ideology. They're not really interested in genuine nation building. It seems to be all about power, money, personal ambition. I don't know if this is an issue, that the Labour Party is willing to tackle, or it's not up for discussion. How do we change this narrative, when politicians just cross carpet at will, just to realize their ambition?
I completely agree with you on that. And that is why I keep saying Peter Obi, Peter Obi. And because that is the only person that.
But Peter Obi left APGA as well. He left APGA, moved to the PDP, and from the PDP he moved to the Labour Party. So really, what is the outstanding difference between him and other politicians who have done the same?
Good. Because moving from one party to the other is not what makes you to lack competence, character, or capacity. When you have in a country that is rated to be one of the most corrupt, you will discover that if you are in search of a new Nigeria, you will continue to move until you get that platform and that environment and the people around you that you can use to achieve that. I don't need to tell you that Obi might just be a lone wolf crying in the wilderness. Repent, repent, for a new Nigeria is possible. That is why you see him making those moves. It is not because he wants power or money. He has told you he is not desperate about being Nigerian president. And he has shown it. Even when INEC did all the abracadabra. You know what Obi say? Calm down. We wouldn't need to destroy the nation. We will get it at the right time. So he is moving because he's searching for the particular environment and platform where the people that he's going to lead will accept this new Nigeria, where men should not just that they shouldn't be corrupt, but they should be incorruptible. You can't get that in the traditional platform that is existing in Nigeria now. You cannot get it in PDP. You cannot get it in APC. I dare anybody that wants to confront what I'm saying. So I agree with you. The elected class now, even some from Labour Party, have not impressed me. They've not impressed Nigerians. But Peter Obi has impressed me because I was inside the political room and I knew how he was carrying his life. And I knew that he meant it when he said, I would rather do the right thing and lose than doing the wrong thing and winning. So I agree with you. But please, if you watch what I'm saying, I keep talking about Peter Obi, New Nigeria. Because for now, he is the only politician I can tell you that can make these things possible. Look at what is happening in Nigeria today. Can you say this is what we wanted to see? That our debt now is 88 trillion naira. And what are you spending it for? Nothing. Consumption. Buying SUVs, 100% imported for 469 members of the National Assembly. And then you are talking about job creation. You know, he said his 8 priority areas. You know, he mentioned it in the speech. National defense and security. He has failed on that. Job creation. He has failed on that. Look at it. Macroeconomic stability. He has failed on that. He said he removed dual foreign exchange and wanted to make a single exchange. Are we not having the dual today? They are saying 800 naira official rate, and you have 1,200 naira. He has failed on that. You talk about investment environment optimization. He has failed on that. You talk about this is his own 8th priority area. You talk about poverty reduction. He has failed on that. You talk about social security. He has failed on that. You talk about human capital development. He has failed on that. What else has he not failed on? Wole Soyinka had to go to his office and say, my friend, you have 1 year to deliver. He gave him 7-point agenda. In Lagos State, his own town, Lagos Island, they were crying, we are hungry, we are hungry. So with profound respect, he has failed in the 8th priority area. 77 months of democracy is approaching 20% of your time.
Well, but
With
some
7
people,
months, you can
would
read up a
say
degree.
that 7 months, is a little bit too short for you to judge if he has failed or not. Don't you think we have been a bit too hasty in judging him so harshly?
There's a proverb in my place that if you want to know how the tin of a big lady is, if you see the tin of a little lady, you will know. So, if you want to know how the 4 years will be, you start from 7 months. In these 7 months, how has he worked hard to cut wastage? I just told you about 40 billion naira is going to go into consumption that will add no productivity to Nigeria. I just told you a man who said he wants to revamp the economy, revitalize the industrial sector, and yet you're buying 469 imported SUVs when you have products that are assembled in Nigeria that you could have bought to improve the productive capacity of these firms. So what else is he going to do differently? He has borrowed about 15.8 billion naira, $billion. When is he going to pay all this? He's spending 98% of the revenue servicing debts, and he's borrowing more. What else are you expecting? Let me tell you, people are going to be hungry for the next 4 years. Forget it. Because Naira will not appreciate. The only secret in appreciating Naira is what? There's no magic.
Well, there you have it.
To strong currency. Strong currency is predicated on strong economy.
True.
Strong economy presupposes an industrial productive base and a steady export market.
What are the irregularities and some of the things you're seeing at the national level that makes you feel like, what is going on with our party?
Well, right before the election and up till today, we have seen activities of key leaders of the party, which ordinarily you would term it as anti-party, or you would term it as misconduct against the ethics and etiquette of the party, for which the National Working Committee has not done anything. The chairman of the Governors Forum went to Villa and they showered the encomium on the president, which is not a problem. But some of the things he said at that place could be deemed as anti-party, and nothing happened. Of course, we know the locus classicus, which is Governor Wike and his friends and his associates. They have done more than you can do, and nothing has happened. No official statement has been made to either call him to order, to probably institute disciplinary procedure. And then the National Working Committee too has been quiet and sleeping and not playing the role of active opposition party. You have seen, unless once in a while on Christmas Day, when the president gives a speech, they will issue a statement against him. When on New Year Day he issues a speech, they will issue. But between Christmas and New Year and the remainder of the days, there are policy issues by the governing party for which the opposition ought to interrogate. And what I mean interrogate is not just to say that TinUbU's speech is empty. Give facts to support that, right? If it's an economic policy that he has dished out for which you disagree with, differentiate that policy with the policy that PDP stands on, right? If it is the budget, you're criticizing the budget, tell Nigerian people what PDP would have done differently, or where you disagree, not just make a blanket statement. The national publicity secretary of the party should not be like a rabbit that comes out of the hole once in a while. He should be up in the media, engaging and interrogating. That's all I'm trying to say. And that's the reason why Peter Obi had the temerity to say that the Labour Party is going to be the opposition party this year.
I wanted to come to that. What will be your reaction? Because it's like you're taking my questions ahead of before I would say it. When he mentioned that, I understand he mentioned that, look, the Labour Party is going to be the lead opposition. Why do you think he had to say that? Is it because of the posturing of the PDP? Is that because when we talk about lead minority, lead opposition, it should be by number, but perhaps he's not seeing the number. Does it give credence to the people who feel the same way that, look, the lead minority party or the opposition party, quote unquote, is inactive? So it gives credence to his posture.
Yes, he has every reason to say what he's saying, right? At the time, we can interrogate whether Labour Party at this stage is actually a political party or not. In the real sense of what a political party should do. But the reason he is saying what he's saying is because PDP is sleeping as a political party. But PDP members in their individual capacities have been engaging, interrogating government, playing the role of opposition as individual members of the party. But as a party, PDP has been quiet. And the reason is not far-fetched, because some of the leaders who are misbehaving appear to have certain degree of control on infrastructure of the party. So that's why you find it difficult. I feel ashamed sometimes when I come in on media and journalists continue to say, what is it about A, B, and C in your party that your party can't do something? And you don't have answer because you are an ordinary member. Whatever I say, I'm an ordinary member. I'm not a leader. I'm not in the National Working Committee. But as a private citizen, when we say we are going to call out things, it can't be just calling out the governing party. You call out your own party if they are doing the wrong thing. And that is why this 2024, PDP had better make up his mind to be an opposition party, or Labour Party now will be the opposition party. And the reason why Peter Obi is saying that is because if you have seen the last few weeks, he is singularly has been the person who has been interrogated on issues. Now, but at a better time, we'll talk whether Labour Party as a party can challenge. You know, you can talk as an opposition, but do you have the infrastructure of opposition? That is what Peter Obi lacks. He doesn't have the patience to grow a party. He will never sit down and grow a party. That's the truth.
Why do you think so? Let's quickly start that interrogation, because the members of the party are listening and like, if they are wondering, what is Mr. Bwala saying? Okay, maybe you're speaking in tongues. Maybe you can be explicit.
Okay, let me speak in the language of men. Let me speak in the language of men, if that was tongue. You see, Labour Party consists of a movement of people who were aggrieved with the status quo. That has to be agreed. And funny enough, it's not just Labour Party. You find these youngsters in all political parties. Peter Obi came into the fore. There is even a bigger picture. We'll talk about it another time. But in the course of interrogating that, you could see immediately after election, he was not engaging with leaders of the party in various states. So it's all about him and what it takes to build a political party in the nature of Labour Party will mean that Peter Obi has to be involved in the activities of Labour Party as a political party, not just him as a candidate. He has to know what is happening in the states where you have the Labour Party. They have to come out with a blueprint on how to develop a grassroots political party. Being angry on social media is not enough opposition. Being angry on Twitter is not opposition. I told you during the campaign, we commissioned data analysts. They did a polling and came up with a finding that 53.7% of those who engage for him on social media don't live in Nigeria. So don't confuse presence in the social media to demonstrate the strength of a political party. A political party is built by structures at the local level, to the state level, to the national level. Does Peter Obi know the national chairman of Labour Party all across Nigeria? Does he know the candidates running for positions across the country?
Well, you'll be in a better position to answer, because when you made a particular statement, I almost wanted to remind you of the fact that when the movement started, we heard some people say there were just two people in a room punching the laptop, but the numbers was quite surprising to everybody, 6.1 in the last election. Well,
let me tell you what happened.
Yes.
Permit me to tell you what happened.
Tell
you
us.
see, Peter Obi did not secure those votes because of Peter Obi. What happened was that they rile up emotions. They build it around two things. One, marginalization of a section of Nigerians. And two, they build into the sentiments of the religious leaders. What Peter Obi himself did not know, and this is what we have found out after the election, that in fact, even some of the religious leaders that were supporting Peter Obi, I'm talking of Christian religious leaders, supporting Peter Obi at the time, we are actually helping to reduce the number that Atiku could have gotten to emerge as a candidate. Why did I say that? Immediately after the election, these same leaders that were quite vociferous during Buhari, attacking policy issues, immediately after this election, have you heard them for one day speaking against the removal of fuel subsidy, speaking against the floating of the naira? Even some of them in civil rights and the police, they even say Peter Obi is a graduate. But at the beginning, they claim to be working for him. So they used him to stop Atiku, but not because they believe in him.
So before we move on to Peter, because young people will listen and say, I don't know what Bwala is saying, because some of us young people mobilize to support him. So I don't know what Bwala is saying concerning religious leaders and all of that and the sentiment. Young people say we were just dissatisfied with the government of the day. We just wanted them out, and we felt that this is somebody we can rally around. For those who hold that view, how would you respond?
I quite respect their view, and it is a fact. These young people who are not happy with the status quo, you find them even in other political parties. You find them in PDP. It's a youth. Youth is not limited to one political. Even in APC, there are young people who were dissatisfied with what was happening. So you can find them in different places. For the Labour Party, I quite appreciate and respect the fact that the young people in Nigeria wanted to push a movement and make a change for themselves. So it is not like it is one sect of people that constitute the movement for Peter Obi. There is the religious element, which is majority. Then there is the young people element, which is there. And then there is the element of those who carry that feeling at the time that power must go to the south. And wherever it will go, but it mustn't come to the north. So a lot of these factors contributed. But how you would tell, like I said, and I wish Peter Obi well, whether Labour Party would stay alive and active till 2027 is going to be dependent on Peter Obi, right? How he is patient enough to build that political party. He must know the National Working Committee in various states. He must know candidates of the party. He must be involved in building the structure of the party. The church cannot be his structure. That's the point I'm saying.
Right.
The church is not a structure of a political party.
Okay, let's come back to your party, the PDP. The elections are over, at least the presidential election. The Supreme Court has decided in favor of the president's mandate. So we have President Bod TiNubU who will be there till 2027. But are you seeing anything that suggests that the PDP will eventually, permit my word, put its act together to be able to form a strong force against the APC? With what you're saying, it appears that I don't know, is it a Cold War or inability? You've mentioned some of these things. So do you see any drastic change that will happen between now and 2027 within the PDP, given what you're noticing now, which you yourself, you're very uncomfortable with?
The truth of the matter is that there will be a coalition of political parties that will be very strong. This is a fact that I know, and I don't want to talk about the details. A strong coalition. The coalition that is coming will swallow some of the elements that are creating the problem in the various political parties. You see, if you want to remove TiNubU from power, it will never happen by you going 9-to-5 type of job. You must work 23 hours and 50 minutes, meaning that you have only 10 minutes to sleep. And the 10 minutes you have to sleep is when TiNubU himself is sleeping. Look at what he's doing as a strategic action. You see, if you look at his antecedent in Lagos, his method of leadership is that once he takes over government, he makes sure that the opposition are either obliterated or they are weakened. Look at what is happening. NNPP, some elements came out, they say they are suspending the presidential candidate of NNPP. In Labour, you see one Apapa group, they will never allow somebody to rest. Then in PDP, you see some elements. So he will want to ensure that all these opposition parties continue to have problems. But you see, once there is a coalition of the parties, some of these little people that are giving the headache in the political parties would have been swallowed. For example, let's talk about Wike. Because once you solve the Wike question in PDP, you find solution to all of the problem. Now, Wike would come to a point where even in APC, they will become dissatisfied with him. They will have to ask him to either choose to be a rat or to be there is this animal that is neither a rat nor a bird. They will ask him to choose one because he cannot approbate and reprobate. Then secondly, when the political party PDP organizes the next Congress where you have the new leaders in the National Working Committee, it will be a paradigm shift. So these things are possibility. And that but without any coalition or political party, TiNubU is going to spend the next 8 years. That one is for sure.
That's a very strong statement you made. Now, let's look at other issues. Going back to the Rivers issues, I always bring into that conversation time and again as much as I can. And I have always, I don't know what I've asked you, but permit me to ask you just again, just in case I did and I forgot I asked you. The man is, the governor in question is the deputy chairman of the Governors Forum. But we appear to see that the chairman of the Governors Forum and all the governors in PDP appear to be either evasive to do anything or just aloof. What exactly do you make of that scenario?
Majority of them who have allegiance with Wike don't want to hurt Wike. That's why they are quiet. But there are other governors who are more matured and they are focused on what they are doing and they don't want to be entangled in the drama. And do not mistake the quietness of some leaders of the party to mean foolishness. You understand? But Atiku Abubakar has to provide the leadership. The state of the party at the moment will mean that he has to come in and provide leadership for the party. As for the rivers, you only need to pray for that governor. The governor does not know what is even happening. But and only time will tell what is really behind what he is doing that you are not clear. But if he says that is the path he has chosen, you can only wish him well. You cannot govern the state. He's the governor of the state. He said, I want to violate constitution. I want to restore the speaker that was duly removed because he defected. I want to represent the budget. I want to break the law. He said he wants to do it. One is a free moral agent. You have to allow him to do that. But what I can tell you today, I can tell you today is that the governor of Rivers State has fallen into the trap that they want. It's just a matter of time. They will remove him as a governor.
Wow. Okay, you're dropping some hit lines. I don't know what to make of it, but let me ask you just one question in 10 seconds. Do you see the former vice president Atiku Abubakar running again for president?
Sure, he will run. Sure, he will run. He has the capacity, he has the wisdom, he has the knowledge, he has the energy and the zest, and he is a president we never had. Because to be honest with you, if there is any politician who understands the private sector very well, it is Atiku Abubakar. And this our economy can only come alive if there is a private sector-led economy.
This is Bod TV Bod. In case the first time you come here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more uploads.